Okay, so here's what comes in the box when you get it from the factory. You get all the same accessories from the previous generation. You get the gun lock, you get the cleaning rod, the cleaning brush, warranty card, and all of that. What you also get that's extra is two ambidextrous magazines, or ambidextrous, as the Kiwis would like to say in New Zealand. We'll go over the ambi cuts and the ambidextrous feature on the gun later on. So you get two of those. You get two trigger housing pins, one long for when you want to use the back straps, and one short when you want to just leave the back straps off. You get a push punch, a plastic one. This thing is pretty much useless. It'll break over time. I've already almost bent it, so I would suggest just using a metal punch or the Glock tool. You get two back straps. One is the larger size back strap, and you'll be able to tell with the ribs on the inside for spacing. And you get the medium size back strap, which has nothing inside. As a comparison, you can see it better this way. With the back straps off, the grip is similar to, I guess they would say, the SF model. It's smaller than the previous generation. With the medium, it takes it back to the same size as the previous generation Glocks, and then you can add more if you have bigger hands and want to try a different grip. You can put the larger one on. So this is what comes in the box from the factory, and let's do some comparisons. Okay, so let's go over the major changes between the two generations. The top here is a Generation 3 frame, and the bottom here is a Generation 4. The one main difference is, of course, the interchangeable back straps here. Without the back straps, like I said before, it was the SF. It's similar to an SF model. The one thing I did like is not only did they shorten the distance between here and here, but they also went all the way up and shortened the distance between here and here too. I really like it just because I can wrap my whole hand around the frame more. So that's one of the major differences. And you can also put the medium backstrap on and it'll be the same distance as the old third generation frame. The other thing that they did was they changed the texturing. It's not as aggressive as the rough texture frame that was on previously. It's more like a squared texturing. Each dimple on here, as you can see, is more square and flat at the top, whereas the RTF models were more like a pyramid and pointed at the top, so it gave it a more aggressive feel for it. So they kind of smoothed it out a little bit more. The other thing that they did was they changed the way that the magazine release is cut into the frame. This is actually nothing new. Some Glock, not manufacturers, but some Glock dealers or Glock armors actually have a tool that cuts an old third generation frame whole, and there's actually a third-party magazine release that's more extended this way. I like this just because I don't have to adjust my grip like in the third generation. It doesn't stick out as much, so say for concealed carry, if this is pressed against your body, it won't accidentally release. This one is much shorter, but you can access it a lot easier just because it's extended more into the frame. The other change that they did was on the magazines. Here is an fourth generation magazine, and it has an ambidextrous cut in it, and this is a previous model, and you can see it's missing that ambi cut. The one thing about the new fourth generation is it has the ability to switch from the magazine release being on the left side to being on the right side. When you do that, that's when this ambidextrous cut comes in. the one thing is you can use the old magazines on the new 4th generation frames if the magazine release is on the left hand side. If it's on the right hand side, then the old magazines will not work because there won't be a cut in here for the magazine release to push through. The 4th generation magazines also work on the 3rd generation frames. So basically that will work in this, and also, if I can get it, the Glock 33 magazines will work in the 4th generation frames if the magazine release is on the left hand side. So that's another change that they made, is on the magazines and the ability to switch the magazine release from the left hand side to the right hand side. Another big change that they've done is a new recoil system. The new recoil system is a dual spring recoil system, and we'll go over that more when we do a more detailed look on the internal parts between the Glock 3rd generation and 4th generation.